Hello. So I want to focus on rounding decimals in this video. I teach seventh grade and seventh grade advanced, and our books just kind of assume that by that level, everyone should be able to round decimals. But I've also taught long enough to know that that's not always the case. This is something that can kind of get overlooked, and we all just kind of assume that we all know how to do it, when in reality, it's something that a lot of us need more practice on. So I like to use this in my pre-course skills kind of before we get into the other seventh grade standards. So this is just a refresher probably for most of you. Place value. You can't do any rounding to a certain place value if you don't know your place values. Before the decimal, that's your whole. And then as you move to the left, you should know you've got, so the whole, you can also say your ones. And then to the left, it's tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. You guys know all that. As you travel to the right, the number of decimal places past your decimal point, that's how many zeros will go in this number. So you go one past, that's your tenths. You go two past, you need two zeros, that's your hundredths. Three past, you need three zeros, that's your thousands, then 10,000s, 100,000s, and so on. You're going to be asked to round to the nearest one of those place values. Whatever goes in this blank, round to the nearest, whatever it says, that is exactly where your answer should stop. If it says round to the nearest hundredths, then you must have two numbers after a decimal. If it says round to the nearest thousandth, then you must have three numbers after your decimal. Okay? So, to help you remember how to round, I actually was not taught this when I was in school. My students told me this many, many years ago, and since I've just kind of used it as I continue to teach and review this. So I don't know who started it where, but it works. Whatever it says to round to, you look to the next number to the right. If that number to the right is 5 or more, you let it soar. That means you're going to round up. If that next number to the right is 4 or less, then you let it rest. There's no such thing as rounding down. Let it rest means it's going to stay exactly where it was. Don't move it. If you have a 9 that needs to round up, well, 9 would go up to 10, but you can't cram a 1 and a 0 in one little spot. So you put the 0 and you carry the 1 to the left, just like when you're adding multiple digit numbers and you've got to put your ones digit and carry the next one or whatever to the left. It's that same kind of idea. So I just want to show you some examples of this. Okay, on this one, we're going to round to the nearest whole number. Here's my whole number. That's another way of saying your ones. So the one that comes before the decimal. You're going to look to the right. To the right, I have a 4. 4 or less, let it rest. So I'm not going to change that 6. Because it said round to the nearest whole number, I don't want to put the decimal. I don't want to put anything else that rounds to 6. Nearest tenth. Okay, the tenth is one number past your decimal. Look to the next. The next one to the right is an 8. 5 or more, let it soar. So that 4 needs to go up to a 5. So 6 points. Oh, why aren't you writing for me? What are you doing? 6.5. It said nearest tenth. So don't put zeros or anything else after. Nearest hundredth. Okay, so hundredth, that's your 8. You're going to look to the right and you have a 2. 4 or less, let it rest. So that 8 is going to rest. It's going to stay just like it is. So 6.48. Don't put anything else past it because it said to stop at the hundredths place. One more, nearest thousandth. Okay, so that's my 2. Look to the right. It's a 7. 5 or more, let it soar. So that 2 is going to go up to a 3. So 6.483. It said thousands, so it should stop in the thousands place. Let's do another one. Okay, nearest whole number. This is my whole number spot, my 1 spot. Look to the right. 5 or more, let it soar. So that 0 needs to go up to a 1. Next one. 10th spot, that's this 5. Look to the right. To the right, I have a 5. 5 or more, let it soar. So that needs to go up to a 6. So 0.6. It said nearest tenth, so I need to stop in that tenths place. Okay, then it says nearest hundredth. That's this 5. Look to the right. The next number to the right is an 8. 5 or more, let it soar. So that's going to become 0.56. And then thousandths. Thousandths is 3 past my decimal, so this answer should have 3 past a decimal. It's an 8, look to the right, and it's a 3. 4 or less, let it rest. So 0.558. I have 2 more. Okay, nearest whole number. Whoops. Nearest whole number. Here's a 3. Look to the right, it's a 2. 4 or less, let it rest. So it's just going to stay as a 3. Nearest tenth, that's 1 number past. Look to the right, you get a 9. 9 is 5 or more, let it soar, right? So that's going to change to 3.3, nearest tenth, so end in your tenths place. The next one says nearest hundredth. Look to the right, it's a 6. 5 or more, let it soar. So that 9 needs to go up. Now you can't put 3.2 and then cram in a 10. So what we're going to do is make that a 0 and carry the 1 up here. So that's going to become a 3 when you put it together. So 3.30. Yes, we need that 0 still because it says nearest hundredth. So you need to go to your hundredths place. Even though it has the same value as the nearest tenth, this one said go to the hundredths place. And then thousandths. Thousandths is your 6. Look to the right. 4 or less, let it rest. So that's going to stay a 6. 3.296. Last one. Whole bunch of 9s. So this one is about remembering to put the 0 and carrying the 1 when it's required. Okay, so starting with your whole. If you look to the right, I mean, obviously they're all 9s, right? And we know that 9 means go up. 5 or more, let it soar. So that whole number is going to become a 10. Whole is the same thing as saying your ones place. So this needs to stop in your ones place. Nearest tenth. This is really just figuring out where to put the 0 and where to carry the 1 to. Here's your tenths place. We know that needs to go up, so you're going to put a 0. You're going to carry the 1, so that becomes a 10. So 10.0. It says go to the tenths, so we have to stop in the tenths. Next one says hundredths. We already know with them all being 9s, it's going to mean go up, right? So 0, carry the 1, that's going to become a 10. But we can't put the 10, so put the 0, carry the 1. This one we can put a 10. So 10.00 because it said to stop in the hundredths place. I bet you can already figure out what's going to happen for the thousandths. We know we need to round up, so we're going to round it up to a 10, means put the 0, carry the 1. Okay, then that one goes up to a 10, so put the 0, carry the 1. So that one goes up to a 10, put the 0, carry the 1. So 10.000. The main difference is this one said thousands, so you better go to the thousandths. That's rounding decimals. Hopefully that helped clear up some of your confusion if you were having any. Thanks for watching. As always, if you need help with any other 7th or 8th grade math standards, feel free to subscribe. I always tell my students I'm not in this for YouTube followers. I'm just trying to help some people learn how to do some middle school math. So thank you so much for sticking it through to the end. Until next time, bye.